Who do you think Joe Biden is going to win the nomination again for the Democrats?
Well, I barely think there's even going to be a primary. It's the process right now is so undemocratic. I've seen people sincerely arguing that like the last thing we need now is a primary because it would cause infighting. It's disgusting. Yeah, but yeah, even if there was a full primary, even if every other candidate like got on stage and tried, I still think Biden would take it. He's honestly
Yeah.
done pretty well. Like, not to say he's been a great president or one that I would endorse broadly, but he's avoided huge major fuck-ups, and he's kept a pretty even temperament. He's kind of funny in a way that I
Yeah.
don't think a lot of people expected, and I think all of that will play favorably for him.
Corn pop.
He's kind of
That's
he
the
is
hits.
charming, you know.
Yeah. The corn pop thing, the hairy legs. I love those sound bites. So you think it's going to be Biden and Trump again?
Yeah, I don't think DeSantis has a chance in hell, and right now I give it to Biden over Trump. Maybe like
Really?
yeah, like 60-40, not perfect, not even
Uh,
like not a sweep or anything. I think Biden has a bit of a lead right now though, because especially because we haven't seen the consequences that the infighting between DeSantis and Trump will bring. That'll probably do a
uh
decent amount of damage, I think.
Wow. I was thinking the right is going to come out in droves. They're just so livid with Biden. Like to them, he's like demon, like a demon, in human flesh. So I don't know. I I really, Trump's kind of crazy. So you never know what comes out of him. If he did win again, I think that would be like kind of dangerous. Could be potentially be dangerous because he's just so fucking unstable. But, um, but yeah, I just think Biden could fucking take it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult to even take reasonable guesses at it this early on. We
Yeah.
haven't even started like the proper primary races yet. Yeah, for to the extent they're even going to happen. I'm hoping for good here, obviously. Like Trump winning at this point would be catastrophic. Though I think DeSantis winning would be far worse, so I am happy that I don't think he has a chance.
Yeah. Do you think if Biden wins again, do you think he survives his whole term? Like he's like 85 or something?
Fuck, I have no idea. Doesn't he kind of give the energy of somebody who would live unnaturally long though?
Yeah.
Yeah, like he'll just live a weirdly long time. That's just the impression that I get from him vibes wise. Of course, I
Yeah.
have no idea whether that's gonna be true.
They got him in the White House in the Oval Office just doing blood swaps like Keith Richards to
Oh
keep
yeah,
him
keep him
alive.
for as long as he needs. Keep that man a chugging as far as he can go. Besides, he'll probably only get funnier as he gets older, since it seems to be whenever his like brain slips that he says like the really funny shit.
Oh yeah. Do you think he's like senile? Like you think he's all there, or you think he's like kind of halfway there? He's like those grandfathers that will like say like fucked up shit at one point and then realize, oh shit, no,
I
he
think
kind
he's
of lost
I think
filter
he's probably half there, I think.
half there.
Yeah, because I don't think that for what it's worth, I think Trump is as well. They just express it in different ways. I think that they're both like equally forgetful and they stumble over their words pretty much the same amount. The difference is that Trump, with his history as an entertainer, is way better at chaining it into something that sounds like it was just him being eccentric rather than him
Yeah.
having a brain fart. He does this all the time in his
Yeah.
speeches. So yeah, it's they're both really old. Our democracy is fucked.
Yeah. I got to be honest with you, though. There's one thing I miss about Trump's. His rallies just looked like it was a stand up routine, and he would just like roast the shit out of everybody, even in his own party. I don't know if you feel the same way, but I always, I mean, it's kind of fucked when you're watching a president just use their speeches as like, and just watch it as like entertainment value instead of like something that should be taken seriously, right? Or I don't know. Maybe I'm alone on this, but
Well, I mean, the American voters sure turned out quite a bit in 2016, 2020 to affirm they do indeed like it when a president is funny.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be pretty difficult to go back to the like Obama era of let's just relax and enjoy the fact that our leaders are competent. I don't think that
Yeah.
can really happen again. It's pretty much just going to be like this infinite. Yeah, it's like sports forever now. I don't know how we get out of this.
Oh yeah, it definitely feels like teams. It feels like teams, and I even had a conversation with the quartering. I asked them about this. It often feels like it's so much about teams and playing sides that people will actively become more and more disingenuous just so they can continue to fit into that box.
Yeah, no, I agree, right? Like this is one of the reasons why I find it difficult to get debates these days because
Yeah.
in 2019 when I started, I would be able to debate Trump supporters who actually had sincere beliefs about something. Like I could
Uh,
talk with them about immigration or tax policy, even if I thought they were really wrong about something. Like we could talk about it, like we could have a discussion about it. Sometimes
yeah.
I even got the impression they were kind of like reevaluating their views, but for the
Uh,
past couple of years, none of this has been true. They will like say something that is just flatly empirically incorrect that any amount of research would show is incorrect, and you can show them it's incorrect and they won't care, and it doesn't matter, and it's all purely just like theatrics at this point, which and a lot of those debates are just boring to do because you know at that point they're just getting like an audience to their insanity for free. Yeah, it's like anti-empiricism. It goes beyond
mm.
anti-intellectualism because they're not just like disregarding the processes by which you arrive at truth. Now they don't seem to care about truth like at all. And in the face of that, you know, overwhelming victory can only come in the form of like superior strength, which is what I'm
Mhm.
hoping we get because the majority of Americans do actually support some degree of trans rights. I'm kind of hoping that what's been happening lately will, you know, energize people who might have not otherwise been engaged, especially young people.
You mean all the boycotts against the brands?
Well, I mean that like half the country now has like anti-trans laws getting cycled through their state
Mm.
their state legislators constantly.
Mhm.
Florida, you know, the bill that allows them to kidnap trans children, or like not trans children, children who may or may not be trans based on vibes, you know, just like insane stuff like that. There's a lot of bad stuff out there, and I think the Democrats need to do a better job of, you know, pointing out how alarming it is.
I often feel like you brought up Florida, like this all this stuff happened under DeSantis. I feel like he just when he initially got elected, he was just like, I'm just gonna see how I can destroy Florida because he's trying to get Disney to leave. There was that bill, there was the name the Don't Say Gay bill.
Mhm.
Now there's this bill that you're talking about. I mean,
Don't Say
it's
Gay
just
bill has been extended to 12th grade now, by the way. Teachers are
really,
having to like submit all of their books in their libraries and classrooms to state approval because they risk a felony lawsuit from the state or from parents if there's anything in there that's identified as like sexual grooming material, which at this
mm,
point means that like an 18-year-old college senior seeing a book that acknowledges the existence of gay people could warrant like years in prison for the teacher. It's pretty bad over there.
how far do you think is government overreach? You think this is like a definitive government overreach, but how far, like you think DeSantis, ironically being a Republican, because they're all about small government, right? But he's just like being so intrusive in all these like policies that they're pushing. You think how far do you think government,
Well,
it
a lot of
characterizes as
this is
yeah,
objectively unconstitutional. Like, that's
yeah,
not, yeah, I'm not a constitutional scholar or anything, but a lot of this, like, if you could do, like, snap judgment, is this allowed? Like, a lot of it just isn't. However, the current Supreme Court is conservative and clearly
yeah.
in line with what's happening here. And also, you know, I mean, possibly even worse, even if they weren't, it can take a long time for the legal process to bring a bad law to the Supreme Court for challenging. So
Mm.
that's what Republicans are doing all over the country right now. There have probably been dozens, maybe even hundreds of arguably unconstitutional bills that have been passed, and it's just not, you know, there's nothing that can really be done about it, at least not through court, you know, deliberation.
Gotcha. Where do you see the country going in the next few years?
Well, I guess a lot of it hinges on the 2024 presidential.
Hmm.
There are some trends that I consider positive right now. The anti-trans hysteria doesn't seem to be working with the GOP voter base as much as they seem to think that it should. What's
Hmm.
more, they didn't do as well in the midterms as they thought they were going to, and that's a pretty big deal. There are little bits and pieces of potentially good information here when it comes to like broader support, but you only need a small percentage of the country to be insane and vindictive to fuck things over. What we really need is blowback. What we need to do is recognize, like, oh, okay, so we have like a flagrantly undemocratic political party that's trying to destroy our Constitution. Something needs to be done. And then ideally, a lot of them would be arrested on sedition charges. I don't think that's going to happen, but that's my, you know, private fantasy. They do need to be removed from power, though. You can't have a democracy where half of the political power is held by people who are openly contemptuous of democracy. That's insane.
Yeah, and it's ironically the same people who are actively trying to present themselves as defenders of freedom and all this other stuff.